Hi, I'm Rob from roblovephoto.com, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of the Canon 40mm f2.8 STM pancake lens, fresh from Christmas. I got this one free when I bought my lovely new Canon 600d digital SLR, and Amazon were doing this amazing deal where if you bought the 600d with the 18-55 kit lens, you got one of these free, which is pretty amazing, isn't it? That offer is finished now, but you can still pick up one of these lenses should you wish to. Let's have a quick look at the website, see how much they are. Well, on amazon.co.uk, it's currently down from 229.99 to 127.99 with free delivery, and it gets 5 stars from 62 customer reviews. If you're in the States, it's $191 with free shipping, and it gets 4.5 stars from 419 customer reviews. So pretty much rated as a good lens. As you can see, it's pretty small, and sort of as a comparison, before I put it on the camera, let's have a look at that's the 18-55 kit lens. You probably already own one of those. So as you can see, it's pretty tiny compared to that. And even if you've got something like the 50mm 1.8, this is the Mark 1 version, but it's the same as the Mark 2. As you can see, it's considerably smaller than that one as well. So obviously that's why they refer to the pancake lens. So let's now put it on the 600D so you can see what it looks like. Snap it into place. And as you can see, it really does significantly make the camera a lot smaller, and quite a lot lighter as well. Now remember, this is a prime lens. It's 40mm, which means that on a crop sensor body like the 600D, you times it by roughly 1.5. So you're looking at, it's more like a 60mm lens. So it's a little bit telephoto. If you're a little bit confused about why we call these things differently, it's because on a film SLR or a full frame DSLR, we tend to refer to it as a 50mm as a standard lens, and what that means is it approximates the human field of view, kind of. It's also equivalent to the diagonal of the film, but you know, a normal shot would normally be with a 50mm. Now, when they brought out the SLRs and you had crop sensor bodies, 50mm is a little bit telephoto. It's a little bit zoomed, if you like, and so that's why on your kit zoom it goes from 18 to 55. So really, on a crop sensor body, the standard kind of focal length wouldn't be 50mm, because as we said, that's full frame. It would be something more like a 30mm lens. So it's a little bit telephoto on a crop sensor body. Now it's f2.8, so the good thing about that is that's quite a large hole, so it means it lets in quite a lot of light, so it's good for working in low light conditions. And also it means that you can get quite a small narrow depth of field as well for doing portraits. And obviously, being slightly telephoto, it's going to be quite good for that. There's no image stabilization on this particular lens, but with the slightly shorter focal length, you know, and the wide aperture, you know, do you really need it? And I'm pleased to say that it really is incredibly sharp. What you'll see at the end of the video is I'll put a load of example pictures that I've taken over the last couple of days, and I'll also put a couple of example videos as well. I'm no filmmaker. There's just some shots of a river and some cars going down a road, but maybe it'll give you a good idea about whether this is a lens that you would add to your camera bag. What I particularly like about it is very quiet when it focuses, so that's great for video work. It's very unobtrusive. You know, if you've got a small camera like the 600D, it really does make the footprint very small indeed. It makes it, you know, in comparison to even something like a micro four thirds compact, you know, a CSE type camera, it's very small like that. So you can even fit it in a large coat pocket. The other big advantage of something like a 40mm or even something like the 50mm primes is that they're lightweight, but they also force you to move around with your feet to compose and frame your photographs. With zooms, we can become a little bit lazy, and we tend to default to the wide angle version. You know, we tend to be shooting everything at 18mm or 28mm would be the equivalent, which is quite wide, which means that photos can look dynamic because you have receding lines and stuff like that. But that's what lots of people do. Whereas if you fit something like the 40mm 2.8 onto your camera, that forces you to look at the world in a slightly different manner. You tend to pick things out a lot more. There's a lot less distortion because it is a longer focal length, and you tend to have to get further back in order to do landscapes and urban shots and buildings and architecture photos and stuff like that. But overall, really pleased that I got it. It performs very, very well. Listen, it's not going to replace my 18-55 as the main lens that I use when I'm wandering around. But in situations where I'm out maybe doing a bit of street photography or a little bit of candid photography, or even some video work, this is a fabulous little lens for that. So if you've got a spare £120, $190 hanging around, and you're thinking about buying a new lens and you haven't already got a prime that's near this sort of focal length, then I'd seriously think about going for the Canon 40mm f2.8. Really, really nice. Okay, so what I'll do next, I'll roll the example photos and roll the example videos. Remember, you can email me, scalespeeder@gmail.com, or you can go over to the website robnunphoto.com and check that out too. Thanks for watching.